Hello, Vanessa.
Hi.
I think the time now is 5 minutes after 11. I think we may commence with the session.
You want us to start?
Yes, I've already started the recording.
Hi, Kati. So can we wait until 10 past 11 and then we will start? Thank you. Hi, Kakiso and Anna-Marie. Is it okay for us to start? I see we've got 17 participants.
Hi, Vanessa. Yes, we can start.
Thank you. Sarisha, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay. Would you like everyone to turn on their videos
Yes,
now?
I would think that would be the best because it's going to be a very interactive session.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Please, before I start, can I ask each and every one of you to turn on your videos so that we are able to see all the beautiful faces this morning? Thank you for participating. Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Vanessa Reddy, and I am the current PACLIG chair for KZN. Welcome to our PACLIG Women's Empowerment Workshop. Ladies, during the 16 days of activism, which started on the 25th of November and ends on the 10th of December, the spotlight is on women and children. Our esteemed facilitator this morning is Ms. Sarisha Rameshwar Kamal, and she's an expert in this field. We are delighted, honored, fortunate, and very privileged to have such an esteemed and well-experienced educational specialist, author, writer, and holistic counselor to address us today. Her book, Notes on My Fridge, focuses on women's silent challenges in their daily lives, and it's been internationally acclaimed. We look forward to an exciting, interactive, and empowering workshop this morning. It is my great pleasure to hand over to Ms. Sarisha.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vanessa. Greetings to the distinguished Liasa members today. A special note of respect to Ms. Sibongile and Ms. Vanessa, who has so kindly and graciously allowed me this opportunity to be part of the South African Library and Information Association. As Sarisha, I can be best described as an eternal optimist. I believe in the potential of people. And it is with that background that I am going to be facilitating this female empowerment session here today. And I want to take this opportunity right now to give a special note of gratitude to Mrs. Moxie Naidu, who has been graciously been a referral to me into this field of the libraries of South Africa. Thank you so much for that, Mrs. Moxie Naidu. And Ms. Vanessa, your kindness and your professionalism in which you had communicated with me and related to me is certainly something that I'm very grateful for. So at the outset, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I know you may be thinking that you are winding down to get to the vacation and holidays. Think again, just a short bit of interaction with you and I, and then we are really going to get into the vacation mode once we start to affirm exactly who we are as people. Now, the session today may appear sometimes a little bit controversial. It may even appear a little bit critical. You may think that it's aimed directly at you in terms of pointing at you. Please note, ladies, that even I am a work in progress. So really, this is an opportunity for you and I to use this Liasa platform to be a little bit more reflective, to allow ourselves to be fully present in our workspace, especially now that our country has affirmed and is open to the potential of women to a point where you and I need to fully maximize these kind of opportunities. And I'm grateful that you are taking this opportunity now in the 16 days of activism, because we are going to focus on you and me. So when I requested you to please, and I'm going to ask you for this again, please can you put on your videos, your cameras so that we can see each other. Really, it is about you and I knowing that this is the affirmation for you. You are the center of this entire session. It's experiential, it's interactive. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please also use the chat box if there are questions that you want for us to cover. But I want us to note that whilst we are mindful of the very many challenges that we have today in the world, this session is going to allow us the opportunity to affirm what we already know works well. Now, I want us to take this again. We are very mindful of the many challenges around the world affecting women and children. But today we want for each and every one of us to take the opportunity to affirm ourselves, and most importantly, the role that you and I play in empowering each other, in empowering ourselves, in empowering a community where we feel comfortable enough, proud enough to actually say, I am female. And do you know what that means? So that's what we're actually going to be unpacking today in this very quick session. Please note that one of my very powerful mentors, Robin Sharma, always says that genius lies in taking the more difficult, the researched content, the kind of content that's high academic work, and presenting it in the most simplest of ways to connect and communicate with people. So today we are going to try and simplify and make sure that each and every one of us is going to take from today's session what we need to empower ourselves, to affirm ourselves, and to give gratitude for us if we are already on the path of full-on empowerment. And I have no doubt in my mind that I'm speaking to women already who are very much part and parcel of an empowered South African community. So I want to say congratulations first and foremost to you. Please note that the session is going to be interactive. I request again, kindly put on your video so that I can see your beautiful faces, and let's do this together. The first thing that I'd love for you to do is take your right hand, please, for me. Please put your cameras on again. Thank you very much. We're going to place our right hand over our forehead, and you're going to repeat after me. Out of my mind. Now you're going to take your hand and place it over your heart and into my heart. Can you please unmute your mics now? One more time, right hand over our forehead, out of our mind,
Out of our mind.
And into my heart.
And into my heart.
Awesome. Now that's the attitude with which we are going to embrace today's session. Although we want to make sure we have a balance of our mind and our heart, for today, we are not going to be hypercritical of ourselves, but we are going to be in gratitude mode for each and every one of ourselves. We are going to feel and we are going to think from our heart spaces, from the center of who we are, the part of us that's inclusive, that's loving, and that's embracing of all the female that we are. Now, we know that we've been through a hellish time during this COVID pandemic, right? So let's not get into the mind space for now. Let's just focus right here. So I'd like you to mute your mics now. Thank you. Respected LIASA members, colleagues, South African women have the kind of challenges that are not just unique to South African women. It's actually, you know, the fact that I've been blessed to work with the diverse communities of an international community. I am very fortunate to understand that the kind of challenges that we have in South Africa is not only unique to us. It is challenges that women face. And we need to understand that and take what we are talking about today from a very collective perspective, right? Now, what are some of the challenges that women face? I don't want to repeat. I know we know it. Many of us are even living through it. But for the sake of us getting perspective and getting a context, what are the kind of challenges that we are dealing with today? Let's talk about GBV, gender-based violence, domestic violence, spousal abandonment, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, something that many of us don't even talk about. Now, let's also focus on poverty, and let's also focus on the high rate of female unemployment, not because we are unqualified, but because we are, unfortunately, we have the unfair advantage. And I also want to bring up what COVID has actually now brought to our attention. Whilst COVID itself does not discriminate, unfortunately, women have been put in the forefront in taking the bulk of the challenges, the bulk of the roles and responsibilities in a disadvantaged position has been taken upon by women even during COVID. You and I know that having children at home, who has to take the responsibility from work? We have to take the responsibility. Even though we ourselves are dealing with the mental anguish that COVID doesn't discriminate, it can be very well something that affects us equally, okay? So there are so many challenges that we are experiencing today. I want to ask you, what does this then mean for us as people? Where to from here? We know this is happening. We know that this is a global issue. It's not just South African issue, and let's be always mindful of that. Let's not just only work in our small little spaces, okay? So what does it mean for you and I? Can somebody answer me, please? What does it mean for us when we acknowledge these challenges? Anybody, give it a shot. It means that you and I have to be able to be reflective enough, understanding exactly what is going on in and around our world, and then start to act upon it. We cannot be in dormant phase of our lives. We have to be able to use this life, the life force energy that has been given to each and every one of us equally. We have to be able to embrace that energy and find the kind of solutions. So the session is going to be very solution focused, that when we talk of empowerment, we talk of solutions. We are not just highlighting the challenges, because we know the challenges, we are living the challenges. Yes, let's talk solutions. And this is what's going to help us especially become part of the solution for the 16 days of activism and post that into 2022 into the rest of our lives. I'm going to now request you to please take any piece of paper that you have in front of you and a pen that you may have in front of you, please. Could you kindly take a piece of paper and pen for me? Thank you. I'd like for you to draw a circle. It can be the size of your palm. Just draw a circle for me, please. In your paper, on your paper. Thank you. I'm going to ask you a question now, and I want you to think for a moment. Give yourself an opportunity to think about the possible answer that works and is fitting for you exactly where you are in your life right now. List for me 5 people that are the most important persons to you in your life. Now, I'm loving the smiles because you are thinking 5, only 5? Is this woman crazy? Come on. Think about 5 persons that are really important to you in your life. And I want you to please, in the outer of the circle, I want you to please write down those 5 names. 5 names only. So think about it. It's almost like I can feel your stress as you are thinking, which 5 am I supposed to select? Thank you. I'm going to take my chances now, and I'm going to ask Ms. Sibongile, can you please help me? Can you please unmute yourself and tell me, was it an easy process to identify 5 names for you, ma'am?
No, it wasn't easy at all.
It wasn't easy at all. Okay.
No, it wasn't.
Right. We're going to keep those 5 names there, right? Now I'm going to ask you a second question. Now let's think about it again. And I'm sincerely hoping that all of us are participating on the paper right now. Question 2. Now I'd like for you to identify 3 of the most important persons in your life. 3. If you have to repeat from the 5, go for it. But let's go for 3. Who are the absolute 3 persons in your life? And I'm sure during COVID, we figured out the kind of relationships that we have, the kind of people that we have in our world. So let's think again. Awesome. Are we done?
Yes.
Thumbs up if we're done. Let's put our thumbs up if we're done so we can see it. Thank you for that participation. Thank you. Miss Vanessa, can I trouble you?
Sure, no problem.
Miss Vanessa, how was the second step of this activity? Now identifying 3 persons.
I found it I found it easier actually.
Wow. Fantastic. And the first part, the identifying 5?
That I found a little bit difficult because I needed to choose like 5 that was most important, but the 3 seemed to go much easier. It made my selection much easier.
Wow. Now, I'm going to ask you a very straight question to all persons participating. And I would like for you to please answer me very honestly, even if you've put your cameras off right now. I'd like for you to tell me how many of you wrote your name in that circle? Yes, that's the response I wanted. How many of you wrote your names in that circle? My first question was the 5 most important people in your life. My second question was, even if you have to repeat, choose 3, put it down. Yes, I'm loving this response. Thank you for this participation, people. Oh, well done, Ms. Ukiwe. Thank you for responding to me on the chat.
Sorry, Sirisha.
Yes.
Can I just say when we think of when you said the 5 most important people,
Yes.
I don't think we put ourselves in that equation.
Of
I
course.
think we tend to look at out of that. You know, we feel that we are not the most important person. I think we tend to take on everybody else as the most important. So we do not put ourselves on that list.
That's a wonderfully noble way of thinking of the world. And it's really powerful that you are able to see that more, see others more. However, the whole idea of female empowerment, and the bottom line is this, and I said to you right at the beginning, this may appear a little bit controversial, okay? If I do not take care of me first and foremost, I am never going to be in a position to really be able to take care of you. At some point in time, and this is the reason why you can read, I mean, you are working in a fantastic profession. I would love to be able to work in a library because I'm crazy about books, right? But the whole idea is if you are reading about any world, any country that speaks about female empowerment, and you are trying to figure out at which point in a female's life are the most serious issues start to take place, and at which point does she suddenly start to now recognize her potential and her as an important resource in the world. Generally, after she's been bashed and bullied throughout the world, throughout the lifespan. And generally, when she comes into her 40s, when suddenly she starts to realize, oh my God, I now have to understand that I am a powerful being, but I need to be well first, because the body starts to take its toll. The mind starts to take its toll. If you speak to majority psychologists, they will tell you clients who are in their 40s and 50s, they are talking about depression. They were not talking about it in their 30s and 20s because they had the energy. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I have the Zuma for my family. It's my family. It's my community. It's my society. I'm going to be the solution. Yes. But at some point, we need to be able to give focus to ourselves. And it's not a selfish thing. This is what we need to be able to change and think about. And this is what, for me, female empowerment actually is. So I will ask you another, we'll hold on to that. Don't be disappointed. I'm loving the fact that we're disappointed. It means that we're getting to the heart of things. We're challenging each other. I can see hands up. Yes, Ms. Mukhadi.
Thank you, Sanita. I didn't put myself, I just wanted to comment on why I didn't put myself, because to me, the circle actually represented myself. I'm within. So I thought already I'm within, and around me, who are those other people? That's why I did not first put my name.
Now that is a powerful perspective. That is a very, very powerful perspective. But you included yourself, right? Because you considered yourself to be the circle. Thank you for that very powerful perspective. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Ms. Sunitha, I see your hand is up, ma'am.
Yes, I just want to thank you for this lovely session. I'm really enjoying it. And it has really touched me because when you asked me to write on the first list and the second list, and it's because of the first list and the second list, putting everybody else first, I'm actually now suffering with depression because I am receiving treatment for it as well. So it is quite, I'm actually emotional about it because I tend to do everything for everyone else. So thank you so much.
You got this. Ms. Sunitha, you got this. We all got this. And we're going to talk some more. Thank you for being so vulnerable. And thank you for trusting us enough to share that with us. Thank you very much, ma'am. And I wish you enough, and I wish you well. Thank you, ladies, for that section. We're going to come back to it, and we're going to see how it's linked to all the other things that we're going to be talking about and engaging with in this female empowerment session with Liasa. When we talk of female empowerment, what are the kind of things that come to your mind? Is it the kind of thing that only a particular kind of female has to experience? Is it only for the executives that they need to be female, empowered? Is it only for the person next door? Is it only a particular brand of person? When you think empowerment, what do you think? Is it open for everybody? Is empowerment for everyone? Thumbs up if you say yes. Thank you. Yes. Female empowerment includes every person. Empowerment includes every single individual, not only the persons that we like or that we favor, but all individuals. I, as an individual, believe in potential of people. So I believe in empowerment. But the most important thing that we need to remind of ourselves is, and this is where I think, in working in private practice as a holistic counselor, you would find that women in their 40s and 50s are the most frequently persons coming in because we've given our all to what we understood because of, and these are two important words, preconceived ideas. Preconceived ideas that we have to do it because historically we were told so. Professionally, we have been always experienced it so. Yes. Socially, we've always understood it so, that we always have to be the ones who takes the back seat. Yes? Now, even this comment that I've made right now can be, misunderstood, but I want us to understand in the context of which we are speaking. We have to be able to understand that historically, socially, even religiously, we have been seen to function with preconceived ideas that I am not as important. Hence, we put ourselves in a situation where it comes in a later stage in our lives that suddenly we have a wake-up call and go, aha, what's happening here? So when we talk of empowerment, we are talking about mind empowerment, being open to ideas, being open to the world, being open to the experiences of the world, and equally heart empowerment, being open and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable enough to say, hang on, this is not acceptable anymore. I am deserving. I am worthy. I am enough. We have to be able to empower ourselves by working with our mind and our heart in equal comfort zones, that we are thinkers and equally we feel compassion, we feel passion, we feel presence, we are presence. And a very important criteria for empowerment, not even female empowerment, but as is active participation. If you and I are not actively participating in our world, we are not empowered human beings. We are literally then allowing ourselves to be part of the statistics, to be part of what we knew before, the preconceived ideas, the stereotyped ideas, the stereotyped ways of living. Now, as I said right in my introduction, if you are already functioning at your peak and you are doing a phenomenal job, I am grateful for that. And I'm thankful to you. For those of us that may not, let's use this opportunity to reflect on why is it that I'm not an active participant in this world when life is all I have. Let's take even the COVID experience for now. Let's look at the statistics of during the 16 days of activism. What are the stats? Am I part of the statistic? Is it a healthy statistic that I'm part of? How am I contributing to the world? How am I contributing to my life? Forget the world. How am I contributing to my world? My world meaning the world that I live in with my family, with my children, with my community, my society, my South Africa. How am I functioning? Am I a whole being functioning with my mind and heart in full zest and energy and power, dynamic being, the kind of being that I'm supposed to be, the kind of being that I am? Am I using my mind? There's a wonderful way of describing the mind, and I love it. It's the mind is likened to the kalpavriksha. Now, kalpavriksha is a Sanskrit word, which means the mind can actually be like a wishing tree. What you put into your mind is what the mind starts to envision for you, but you have to know what to put in it. So am I going to be critical enough, reflective enough to know what I want in my mind and in my heart, to allow only for that to actually be relevant and real in my world? These are the kind of questions that we need to ask ourselves, dear members. These are the kind of things that we need to work with. But whilst we are doing that, we need to be compassionate enough with us. Equal participation from our thoughts to my heart. So when I say, oh dear, am I actually an active participant in the world? Or am I merely dormant and just going with the flow and just allowing people to take control, or just accepting norms that I don't like? Am I thinking about it? Am I reflective enough? And am I part of the solution? Do I want to be part of the change in the world? And how do I do it? By starting from my heart center with self-awareness. There's a wonderful emotional intelligence that I always talk about. And emotional intelligence starts with understanding your emotions, and your emotions start from your heart. When we have to be compassionate enough, loving enough, caring enough, and balance what we think with our heart center, and then be active in the world, then be active in the workforce. Now, most people think and say to me, you know what you are saying is so ideal, but impractical. How many of us are thinking about that right now? That this woman, she's really not sure what she's talking about, because what she's speaking is so ideal, but impractical in the world. Come on, let's have some bold, courageous women. Talk to me, please. What are you thinking? Yes.
Well, Sirisha, I feel that we get so caught up with taking care of our family and work commitment, time commitment. We've got full-time jobs. Many of us are also doing other things like trying to empower ourselves, studying. So I think in perspective, what you are saying is something that we really put on the back burner.
See, empowerment is not about a particular time and a particular day. I'm not an empowered woman from 9 to 10. I'm an empowered woman from the moment I open my eyes to the time I sleep. Even in my sleep, I'm dreaming empowerment. You don't give it a time frame. It must filter in all aspects of who you are. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you live must be able to be indicative of an empowered woman. It's like, you know, for example, when you see certain people in the world, you go, oh my God, there's something different about that individual. What is it? What is it? Think about it. Is she just dressed beautifully or just looks pretty? Or is she actually exuding something that shines from within her? The confidence. Now, I don't want us for one moment to think that, you know, an empowered woman means that we don't have difficult lives. I mean, if you give me an opportunity, or we have to sit together in a conversation circles that I certainly love, and I hope that we start a conversation circle with the Liasa team, where women sit together in circles and literally share and talk and empower each other. If we had to take a space like that, and if you give me the opportunity to share my life, you would think, oh my dear, really? You would start to empathize, because that's the reality. It doesn't mean to say that because we are sitting and talking empowerment, we have to forget that we also have really difficult challenges that we are dealing with. Yes, empowered woman means I'm going to reflect and look at the challenges in a different light. I'm going to be more solutions focused to the challenges, as opposed to looking at it in a very difficult way. Now, I'm going to give you a very personal example. Please allow me to give you this example. Yesterday, my home was broken into. This happened yesterday. Into my yard, and my vehicle was broken into. Everybody was really upset, and everyone was really thinking, now what now? How do we deal with it? And I was thinking to myself, hang on, where's my family members? Immediately in my head, I go, where's the family members? And I started to count the people that's in the yard. Where were they? Are they well? Is everybody okay? The first thought. I could have immediately said, oh, this is South Africa. This is terrible. This is the kind of life I want. Start to think negative thoughts. But immediately, because I want to look at it in a different point of view, I don't want to harm myself. Because if I respond negatively, nobody else is going to get harmed but me. Nobody else is going to get stressed but me. Do I want that for myself? No. So I have to understand that these are my circumstances. However, how I respond to them, it's what gives me the opportunity to empower myself and sets me apart from any person, any other person. And that's something that we need to be able to think about. Is it an easy practice? Absolutely not. Because for many of us living in the heart of a community where there are so many challenges, it's never easy. But ladies, I want to stress, and I can't stress this enough, you are creator beings. By nature, we are creator beings. We now decide, what is it that I want to create? Chaos? Or the kind of environment that's uplifting, that's kind of environment that promotes the life that I want, to reflect the kind of heart that I have, mind that I have. It's always a choice that we have. Even in the most toughest of decision times, we always have a choice that gives us an outlook in life that can say, this person is an empowered person. Now, you may also say to me, oh, but I'm tired. Yes, I'm also tired. But I can't give up because I still have life force energy in me. I still have life force energy in me. Yesterday, I was listening to a TikTok little video that asked a couple, if I have to give you $1 million rands right now, how would you be? And they said, oh, goodness, if you give me $1 million rands right now, I would be elated. I would feel a ninth heaven, right? And they were like, oh my God, I'll be so happy. This will be the best Christmas ever. And they were going on with all these positive words and descriptions of how well they would feel. And then the presenter asked them, if I give you this $1 million rands right now, but tell you that you can accept it, but tomorrow morning you would not wake up, would you still feel the same way and would you still take it? Dead silence. Because suddenly we are given something to think about. Suddenly we realize, oh my dear, even that money doesn't really mean anything if I don't have a life to live it. Suddenly it gives perspective on our world. But you and I have to be willing to be reflective enough on what's important. The choice is always ours. I'm going to very quickly move on. I'm going to ask you now, please. I see there's Johannes Kasi. Can you say hello to me, please? Okay. All right, Ms. Lebachang, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Ms. Lebachang. Is there any chance of you putting on your camera for me?
Okay. I was not ready for this.
Okay, no stress at all. Any other of the members would like to put on their camera for me? I'm just looking for one other participant, please. Thank you so much, Ms. Is that Ms. Stella? Hi, ma'am, how are you? You need to unmute first.
I'm enjoying this session. It's so encouraging. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Ms. Stella, I'm going to ask you to help me out for the next few seconds. Are you willing, participant?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Right. So for those of us that are in our homes right now or in your offices, if you want to try it, you can use the idea behind it, but we are going to be focusing on Ms. Stella, okay? Ms. Stella, could you kindly stand up for me? Thank you, Miss. Oh, that's a beautiful top. Now I get to see you dressed up. Right, Ms. Stella, can you tell me, turn around in your room. I'm going to give you a few seconds, okay? And I want you to identify for me in your room at least the maximum things that are in the color red in your room, please. Wherever you are.
I'm in the library.
Yes, go. Oh, wow. So where you are at the space that you can physically see, can you look at it and tell me all the things that are red? How many? Give me a number. Take your time.
1, 2, 3, 4. A couple of books, about 10 books from where I'm standing, or more. Over 20 books, yeah, from where I'm standing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
What is the number?
Over 20 books. In
about
red
20
with,
books.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Stella. Ms. Stella, have a seat.
Thank you.
So we spoke right now about red books, right?
Yeah.
And I want all the other participants to think about anything that's in your room also that's red, wherever you are, okay? Try to figure out how many. I love the way you are participating with me. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. All right. Ms. Stella.
Yes.
Now, ma'am, So you said about 20 read books
Yes.
because you are in the library.
Yes.
Next question. Without thinking, can you tell me how many purple books are there in the library where you are?
No. No.
Think about it in your space. Anybody else where you are? Can you think about, give me a number.
And, I can only see 3 or 4 from where
Right.
I'm standing. I'm sitting.
Right. Thank you.
Okay.
This is the point, ladies. What we focus on is where our attention goes. What you and I choose to focus on is where our attention goes. If I say read, and I'm saying read books, that's all you're going to be looking for. Your mind is going to be directed to be able to find only read books. Those other beautiful colors that are available equally and that's present in your library or wherever you are unfortunately going to be sidetracked. We are not going to be focusing on that. The same thing with life, the same thing with our world. If we as people want to only focus on those things that are not working out in our world, those difficult challenges that we are all experiencing, I don't think there's any person sitting here who can very boldly and courageously say that my world is so awesome that I have absolutely no challenges. Every single one of us sitting here has something that really rocks our world in a challenge, in a difficult way. It's the way we are going to focus, and what we are going to focus on is what's going to determine the path of our world. And, you know, traveling and being able to work with so many women from diverse communities and countries, the sad reality is that when you sit in counseling sessions or when you unpack the narratives from the book Notes on My Fridge, the one thing that comes, well, the few things that come across quite clearly, irrespective of where we're from as women, is a lack of self-acceptance, a lack of self-love, and self-validation. We do not love, accept, and validate ourselves enough. We choose as humans to actually focus on those things that are challenging and difficult because we say to ourselves that, listen, I need to be present only for that because that's what my world is all about. But the reality is that it gives you a short-lived time frame in which you are actually fully alive and active and participating. Because at some point you are going to get a nervous breakdown, fall into deep depression, or get into anxiety mode. And an empowered female is an individual who actually lives healthily and well long-term, as far as I understand, and from the way I've interacted with women across international borders. We have to start taking responsibility for our mind, because energy flows where our attention goes. What I give attention to is what's going to be empowered. What I give attention to is what I'm going to bring focus to. Do we have any questions for me? Thank you for the comments on the chat. I'm sure that Ms. Vanessa will have the recording available. I'm not sure about that. There was a question there. Do we have any questions for me?
Tarisha?
Yes, ma'am.
It's just a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
On what you said earlier as well, that it sounds like it may be impractical. But I believe that we as people, we are unique.
Yes.
And we have to believe in ourselves. And I keep saying you must stand up and be counted and be confident. And don't compare yourself with any other because you are unique.
Correct.
And that sometimes we feel like we are threatened by the inferiorities, if I may say. So, and we end up lowering ourselves and not believing in ourselves as women. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bukhari. I'm loving your energy, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. That is ultimately the bottom line, but it's an ongoing process. Empowerment is an ongoing process. It's not just one single part of our lives. It's where we have to look at ourselves as holistic beings and try to live and be the best in all aspects consistently and ongoing, because it's so important for us to validate who you are as a person, your worth as an individual, and know that you are so worthy. And if I don't feel it, I cannot expect somebody else from the outside to want to fill that for me. I can't expect that. And I want to just be able to quickly say the emotion with which you live your life creates the attitude for your life. The emotion that which you live your life creates the attitude, because our emotions, the way I feel, oh, wow, I'm so joyful, I'm happy, I'm blessed, I feel gratitude. All of that gives me a sense of attitude into how I want to perceive and how I live my life. So I would like for us to be able to take this morning session, today's session, into account, the kind of activities that we have done together, and think and reflect upon your life as people, especially in your work environment and your communities and your home environment, how you can, firstly, if you are already fully functioning as an empowered being, congratulations, and I thank you for your time and your energy. And if we are at the moment struggling a little bit, thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being real. Let's use this opportunity to say, okay, there is now a catalyst for change. I can be the solution for change. I can be the solution to myself. We can choose to be wounded, or we can choose to be wise. That's something that I learned from a spiritual mentor, Satguru, who says, I can choose to be wounded, I can choose to be wise. I can choose to be a victim, or I can choose to be victorious. The choice is always mine, but don't be disempowered if our experiences are so heavy. Take the experiences and respond to them in a way that actually fuels you to breathe the change in the world, to find solutions to help yourself, to create an energy that you know is wholesome. You want to impact on your world positively and wholesomely, and we can. And equally, this will filter into our work environments, and equally, this will filter into our communities. I wish for all of us to continuously know that empowerment is an ongoing process. We have to upgrade and update ourselves. The same way that we upgrade and update our cell phones, we have to also be able to upgrade and update ourselves all of the time, because ultimately, you and I are the greatest resource there is. You are the greatest resource you are for your family. You are the greatest resource for your home, for your work environment, for your community. And if all of us live with that attitude and that mindset, can you imagine what an empowered world we are going to be creating? So I'm going to end there by reminding you, and I hope that each and every one of us remembers that as women, we must continuously aim to become better women, continuously aim to want to develop ourselves holistically, so that whilst we are living in this generation, we are impacting on our lives, we are also working with the attention and detail for a better and a grander generation of females to come. I honor who I am as a person, and I honor each and every one of you, and I give deep gratitude for your presence here today. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I wish you the best life possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just a quick one. Can you please organize another session for us, please, if it's possible? Did you hear me?
I heard you, but I was hoping the people that needs to hear you first and louder.
I was asking if it's possible for another session, please. I really love it.
As I said, I heard you, but the powers that be need to make that decision from your executive team.
Okay,
And
sure.
yes. You know what? As I mentioned right at the very beginning, I am an eternal optimist, and I believe in potential of each and every one of us. And I believe that I am a resource to myself and to the world. So if you give me an opportunity to be part of the solution, I will make every effort to do just that. So if we can empower each other, let's grab every opportunity to do so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarisha. Is there any questions for Sirisha? Any comments? What you've taken away from today? There's quite a bit that Sirisha told us in this past hour, so I'm sure there's a lot to unpack. And
this is actually, sorry, Ms. Vanessa, this is actually a 2-day workshop that I've managed to put together so that we benefit and you maximize on the time. So I'm sorry if it really went pretty fast, but I know all people who work in media centers are really smart people. So I'm sure, and from the energy that you were working with me, you got it.
No, it was awesome. And we will send out the recording. Anna-Marie will send out the recording to those that have attended. So I'm sure when you listen to it for the second time, it will make much more sense, or you can slow it down. But personally, I can tell you what I've taken away from you is something that I know I should be doing, but I don't, is putting myself first. Putting myself first means not forgetting about everybody else, but taking care of myself so that I will be able to take care of those around me. So that is the one thing that I have taken away from this, and I'm truly grateful for that.
Yes. Thank you for that, Ms. Vanessa.
So can I hand you over now to our chair, Sibo Donkabe, who will do the vote of thanks.
Hi, colleagues, and hi, Sirisha. Before I proceed, Mohadi has a hand up.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sibo. I just want to find out Sirisha's insights, the comment that you can, the experience that you can share with us as women. I sometimes feel that we don't encourage each other. We always look at others down because we don't want them to be at the same level with us. And therefore, we are not appreciating the kind of inputs that are bringing on board so that we can empower ourselves and move forward. How best can we encourage each other to stand, to stand bold and do what we're supposed to do? Because what most of the time is happening is that as long as somebody brings up something that could build us, could empower us, we don't take it that way so that we build each other. We rather threaten that person, or we rather demotivate that person. What will be your thought on that? Thank you. I hope I've tried to clarify what I need to ask.
Such a real comment and such a relevant comment. Thank you very much for that and a question, Ms. Mohadi. I'm really appreciating your participation. Thank you very much. Look, the bottom line for me is this. The fact that each and every one of us comes from such diverse communities immediately gives us the image of differences, right? Culturally, socioeconomically, the way we think, the way we feel, the way we live. There's such a variety of differences. Me as an individual, at some point in my time, if I don't stop long enough and think, listen, if you are dealing with all of these challenges, do you not think that the person that you think is, not doing their bit has also equally challenges that they are also experiencing? If I am the empowered woman, and if I say, listen, I have these challenges, but I'm reflective, I'm finding solutions, I'm affirming that I'm the asset to the world, I'm an asset to myself, I have to equally be humble enough and sensitive enough to realize that perhaps my sister may not be there right now. Me, as her sister, me as her colleague, as her neighbor, as her friend, as her well-wisher. I need to be able to really understand that empowerment means encouragement. Empowerment means all people, but all of us will not be experiencing the same thing at the same timeline. Do we understand that? So I should not belittle you or be angry at you, but in fact, I should be able to give you some encouragement and model the kind of behavior that I feel is important at some stage in your life. Perhaps you may then pick it up. And if you don't, so be it. You're not there. I can only control me. I can only change me. I can do the best interactive session with you today. You can decide whether this is on or it's not. But I can still want to do my best because I know it works. It's working for me. I'm 48 and I'm loving life. Of course, I have many challenges, but I've embraced them and I am continuously embracing them because it's part of the cycle of developing who I am. This holistic being that's in front of you today is very much part of the cycle of developing holistically and finding out who is she. So when I want to put my best foot forward, or my best input forward today, whether you take it or not is left into you. But I can still encourage you. I can still try. I can still model the kind of behavior that's important. And that's all that we can do. And let me tell you, it's not all we can do. It is enough because I'm trying. And that's it, good enough for now. But I will not add negative energy to it because that comes back to us in bad ways. Thank you for that. Yes, are there any other questions?
Any questions, colleagues, or comments?
Okay, I see Jane has a question about my book, Notes on My Fridge. This is a book that I'm very blessed that a few of the libraries now in KZN has been bold enough to take it on, and I'm grateful for that. Ms. Vanessa, do you have a copy with you there, ma'am?
Unfortunately, no, not as yet. My copies are still lying in Merebank.
Okay, give me a second, 1 minute. Okay, so this is the Notes on My Fridge, and it's by myself. Literally, it is a book about the different types of issues and concerns of women from 11 different countries through the process of counseling and healing, the kind of challenges that we have dealt with. And when we meet together post the book, we have what you call conversation circles, where we start to unpack. So it's not just about reading something, but it's actually about, again, active participation, putting what we understand into our world. And I hope that more of the libraries are going to feel encouraged enough to take it on into the libraries and make it part of our KZN culture, because I think it has a lot of value and a lot of good that it can provide. And I'm willing to be able to come out and do more training with the people that participate in your libraries, in your communities, around the topics of this book. So if you are keen, please do communicate, and let's see how together we can network and how together we can be part of the solution.
Thank you, Sarisha. Thank you so much. This was very informative. It was a mind-blowing workshop that we ever had as women. And it was an eye-opener that another woman was actually telling us how to be taking care of ourselves, how to be developed, how to love one another. As women, we tend, as Mohadi said, we tend to be degrading one another, belittling one another, body shaming, all in complexion shaming and all that. And that's why some people, they end up doing the wrong things in life. But with this session, I'm sure as professionals, we can change our space. Once we change our space, the entire world will change. Just like it happened in 1953, when the women, took the stand and said no to pass laws. And then that's why
1956, yes.
1956, yes. That's why the women that took the stand, and because then the men, the women took the stand because men of that time could not do it. So
Yeah.
the women of that time, and then took the stand and said, no, not in our name. So I believe we have our own struggles of this, this year's women in struggles. We have our own struggles that we are facing. And the other struggles that we have as being a single woman, as being told that you cannot be working in this certain job because you are a woman. Being told so many things. Being told that you should be, be thin, have a figure, or be all those things that you are being told as women that we should be. Look like as women, I should be wearing a weave to look beautiful. I should be, put a makeup. All those things. It must come from me that I am a woman. I am Black, and I'm proud to be Black. I should go forward with my color. So once we are happy with our own skin, with our own self, and being developed, then the entire people will be developed. My family will be developed because of me. If I'm leading, then the whole family and the entire community will follow me. So I thank you so much, colleagues. I believe all of us, we have learned most things here in this session, and I feel for you, Sunita, as well, because I've been as well in the space that we're in. When I had a COVID in January, I realized that, you know what, I don't have friends in my life. The people that I thought were my friends were no longer there. So I thought to myself, you know what, I don't have life. When we were in lockdown, I thought, you know what, I don't have life. Besides going to work, coming home and sleep, going to church, I have no life whatsoever. I didn't even take care of myself. The only thing that I was doing, I was going to work, and I was hiding from other things. Then I had to hide into my work. Then when I was supposed to be in lockdown, then I didn't know, you know what, I have no life whatsoever, because now I'm at home. I only have this family of which I love so much, and they were taking care of me. And all these people, I thought they meant so much in my life, they were not there. The only people that were there were my family. That's why I said to myself, you know what, my family comes first. Yes. And if my family comes first, it should come from me as well. So I thank you so much. I hope and I believe now you are our stakeholder. We have to be doing these workshops as women, and we want to learn from each other. And hopefully we might as well buy your books and get your books into our libraries. I hope we have your books in our libraries so that we can have these dialogues amongst women. And I hope maybe one day we can have also the dialogues for men, because for us to be developed, they have to be developed as well. Because we go home as this family, and then I am so much developed, and then the man is telling, you know what, not in my house, not in my home. Yeah. So because of the culture of whatever, then you are being told not in my home, So I think maybe one day we should have a session for men as well, because yes, there are men that need to develop as well. Especially there are men that we as single parents that we have raised them. So it won't be it will be a good thing that a man gets to understand how we feel as women, how we want to be treated, how we see them, how we want to be seen by them, and therefore they will understand us. They mustn't call us that gender. I just realized I'm a Christian, but I realized that even the Bible itself, it has been oppressing women. I'm quoting this based on this on this book where a woman was caught cheating with a man, but the woman was the one that was supposed to be stoned, was because they were caught together cheating, but the woman was caught was taken to to the Lord to be judged, and nothing was said about the men. And why is that? So to me, it tells me that this oppression has been there, even biblically, it has been there, but we can change that. We can change that.
That's that's a topic for a whole nother time, but I get the points that you are making. Yes, if we are empowered women, we have to be able to empower men to deal with empowered women as well. So I appreciate that and I accept that, because it's a whole different ball game as well for a man to live with an empowered woman. I understand that. I want to end by saying, I am the ambassador for my life. If you are the best ambassador for your life, nothing else matters. So live your life by honoring you and reminding yourself, I am the best ambassador for my world and my life. I thank you, each of you again, for all your blessings and your time. Thank you all. If you are interested, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. I've put in the full name on the chat. If you could kindly go to the channel and subscribe, and let's see how best we can network with each other and truly become and have more meaningful long-term relationships with each other as women, as empowered women. I thank you for the space.
Thank you so much, Sarisha. And colleagues, with that all said, please don't forget to renew your membership for LIASA, and to you as well, Sarisha, you can join LIASA as well. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Have a good day. Thank you, colleagues. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye. Thanks, Sarisha.